So for this video, we're going to be deck testing some Redoran mid-range. So this is basically Crusader and Warrior smashed together, thrown a little bit of rally in for good measure, and just trying to do the mid-range thing, trying to push damage. Unlike, say, the Daggeth mid-range, which really gets into its value in some of the later turns, that one really fights for board, and then starts playing high value and high tempo stuff around turns, 6 through 8. This one tops out, if you're looking at the list, at 5. So this is a more aggressive list, but I do still think that this is more mid-range than true aggro, just because you're essentially using your high health, high value, endurance style threats to push your advantage. So this looks good with the ring. This will be interesting to see. We are up against Tribunal, and this is going to be post-nerf Tribunal. So Manticora no longer has guard. I think that the deck probably still plays exactly the same, but that is something that matters. So depending on what their answer is to this will determine our next turn. If they remove it, we play Lawkeeper. If they don't remove it, I think we play the Captain. Looks like Captain it is. Not only does it let us push more damage, but it means that this starts cycling for value right away. And what do you know? First Rune Prophecy. Whoa! Fate Weaver even. No es bueno for us. So this is probably just traditional, what I would call Blackfall list if they're running Fate Weaver. Because I myself personally don't run the Fate Weaver in my list. I opted to take it out. I prefer the Undying Dragons. But a first rune Fate Weaver,
we can't anticipate.
There's a strong chance that means that we just outright don't win this game, if I'm being honest. That is pretty hard to come back from. They got to draw another card, they got immediate presence, they got the value trade. Like that was just all around bad for us, for being completely honest. So we're gonna opt for this. But we're very quickly approaching the point where it doesn't matter. This deck doesn't run Jarl. We don't have a lot of great ways to refill our hand outside of things like Crusader's Assault, Ulfric's Housecarl. But we do not have those tools at the moment. So they've pitched a Schemer and a Dawn's Wrath, but they found an Execute. Actually, that came from here, so they've had it since opener. It's potentially bad times for us. Really wish we could develop this and this, but looking like we're going to do this to try to protect our guy. Though, in all likelihood, what's going to occur is they're going to trade in and then Ice Storm. They could just trade in and also, like, Firebolt and then trade. There's a lot they could do, but they've already found 2 Firebolts. Mage's Trick is another option for plowing through. Javelin.
So predictable.
Javelin is entirely an option, as one would imagine. Well, I guess we go with this for now. But given our hand situation, it's not looking good for us. This is probably going to be a loss. Again, this was so important because it still fed him cards and it gave him board presence and pushed me essentially out of field. Wow, and they run Harvester. Add that to the list of things I did not see coming. without quality buffs, these Forerunners feel a little sad and out of place. And yet, we can still use them to our advantage a little bit.
I know a shortcut.
So, we can do that. Have that go there.
A dark omen for you.
I know a shortcut.
We're gonna save the Gatekeeper. I didn't want to pop the rune yet. I mean, it's not like it matters, I guess. He has a fistful of cards. Probably could have popped in. It just would have meant also putting the Gatekeeper here, so you would have been giving this up, only doing 2 more damage. It just ultimately didn't feel great. That signals to me he might be trying to set up an ice storm of some kind.
I'll clear a path. I'll clear a path.
That was actually a play mistake. Let's pretend that I didn't just do that, and it's not going to completely come back to haunt me.
Let nothing through.
Sure. There was a chance that that didn't land on one of those, which would have been bad.
Dark omen for you.
There's also a 100% chance that this gets eaten with hard removal now. But we forced at least some damage through. They were trying to set up for a value Ice Storm. That's why they did what they did last turn. They wanted to get some damage on this. That's why they Mage's tricked it to get it down to 3. And what do we got now?
Ready.
Not bad. Not bad at all. No way to buff the health, so I can't keep this alive if I wanted to. I think we've officially hit our downfall. The +2 from this is not enough. So
Close ranks. Let nothing through.
this is at least the only way that we get to force some additional damage through. Knowing that he has an Ice Storm, we save that. But again, we're kind of just going through the motions here. I'll be entirely honest, if I was just playing this and not recording, I may have considered conceding quite some time ago. Because without any of our card draw tools, we've just been behind this whole game, and our opponent is essentially on the cusp of stabilizing at any given moment.
I smell the stench of the living.
Like right now.
Smell the stench of the living.
Perhaps we can help one another.
Because now they have protected their face,
I slay the unworthy.
Waka watches over.
and they've set up so that they can continue to drain. And again, we still have exactly 0 card draw options. No Crusaders Assault,
Wrong place
no
for a
Alfred's
midnight
House
stroll.
Carl.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
It's pretty much all feels bad moments right now. Hey, look! It's Manticora. And the best part is this doesn't even allow us to rally. So, we do get rid of the Barrow Stalker. Oh, that's right, Bolvin. It's been so long since I've not had a creature that I legitimately forgot that that was an outcome. But there we go. We do get a rally. Hooray! It still doesn't matter. Keep this in mind if you're watching this.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Telvanni Midrange is probably okay against this.
Let none
Daggeth
defile
midrange
our
probably okay against this. But this deck,
I
they get to
smell
stabilize.
the stench of the living.
Gonna have some trouble. Also, keep in mind, hey, Tribunal Control, post-Manticore nerf. Turns out
I shall prove my right to rule.
Turns out pretty good still.
By Arcade's beard, this day will be mine.
I don't think we have nearly enough reach in the world to pull this out. So, I think we're just going to go ahead and concede, mostly because I don't want to make you guys, if you're watching this, go through all of the motions. Like I said some time ago, I would have conceded this much, much sooner if I was not recording, but that one's an easy loss to just go ahead and chalk up. We're not going to win that. So we will try this again and hope that we do not have the unlucky fortune to run into a Rune 1 Fate Weaver against our middling board. Alright, marked that down as a loss, sadly. Yeah, that did not go well for us. Oh man. Time in queue, 30 seconds. Literally unplayable. Come on, guys. Alright, here we go, though. We are going to be up against 2 Edge. So now we are playing against Telvanni. Wonder if they are on mid-range or not. Ew. Kind of don't like any of this. Let's go find something to pair with this. We'd really like Rally of some kind. Instead we get more Crusaders. I will say this. I wish that this game blacklisted your mulligans the way that Gwent does. Alright. We are just passing. This is not, I repeat, not a great opener
They've
for
no
us.
move we can't anticipate.
And against a deck that we do not want the game to go long against. So
We'll hold, no matter what.
not a huge fan of playing that without the card draw, but we need to generate something, and we need to potentially try to draw out some removal. Because we'd like to get the Kinsman going. If we can get the Kinsman to land on this a couple of times, then we can maybe make up some of our value here. Alright, so we did bait a Cruel Fire Bloom.
Our glory will live on forever.
Kind of nice for us, knowing that we're going to go Kinsman into Sour here. If we had early pressure, our hand is pretty fantastic. Wow, the negation
No move
was
we can't anticipate.
brutal. Very good play by our opponent.
So predictable.
Like, can't even be
I
mad.
will die for what's right.
Do you not fear me, mortal? You should.
See if they have silence number 2. Could very well just be a Shadowfen Priest. Kind of a bummer because we had 2 hirelings. The chances of this hitting something were that much greater.
So predictable.
I'll scout ahead.
Alright. It's a pretty good turn. Pretty much forces our hand on the Divine Fervor. Because Fervor allows this to survive and this to trade.
Die for what's right.
Fervor also should help out our hirelings. I believe the buff triggers, but I'll be honest, I don't 100% remember, so I guess we'll find out. But I believe that the buff is applied first and then the summon effect resolves, so I think that helps. Hoping to get some additional card draw here from the House Carl as well. I mean, we're not exactly hurting for cards, but against grindy control decks like this, every resource matters, every choice matters. So an ideal play next turn would be something like House Carl and Spirit. They're going to 7. That can't be good. Interesting.
What have we here?
Interesting.
Live.
There's actually quite a lot interesting about that.
We'll rebuild Skyrim into the land she
So now we have a decision to make, because hireling means we at least survive the tree minder, and then they have to lose this into the sower. But I feel like developing Withered Hand Cultist is actually the correct play, because if they are running Nixox combo of some kind, which is a legitimate possibility, and they have 2 on the board, that has the potential to slow them down. Ulfric's Uprising would cost 8, and they would get 10 back. So yeah, I actually think that we just let this go. Draw a card from that and play the Withered Hand Cultist. As much as the hireling to save our guy is tempting, the cultist is, I think, correct. Cultist is actually really solid for us there, because without a silence, it's going to be pretty hard to kill. The fervor means it's outside of lightning bolt range. Assuming this is magically Nixox combo, they could also have Giant Bat Mentor's Ring here, which would probably just win them the game. But I haven't seen anything else, like, other than the fact that they were on Ox and Doppelganger, I haven't seen anything that would tip my hand that way yet, so... So we have, like, Hireling, Emperor's Blade is likely our turns here. It's kind of a shame that we don't have a way to get rid of that ward.
Let them die with their false kings. A dark omen for you.
I just want a chance to prove myself.
At the ready.
Alright, so now we have to decide what to do with this. Because putting it here, because we used the first one here, doesn't help this much. I feel like just doing it here again makes the most sense, because it keeps it out of lightning bolt range.
I just want a chance to prove myself.
Could have done both here, and then this could have potentially survived, but I really just wanted it big enough to block the Nixox.
I'll scout ahead.
It's a really expensive Scouts report. Well, they did not want Worm King's Agent, huh? I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I know they couldn't have played it this turn, but that's the kind of card that generates some value.
You cannot match Telvanni cunning. Your blood will spill!
Yeah, okay, so...
A dark omen for you.
we want this here,
Go no further.
this here, and we want to
Let
draw.
them die with their false king.
Another Withered Hand is fantastic. So... I think we're going to end up with... it's kind of sad because I would love to get this Kinsman going, but... if I played, it's going to have to go field. And while it would still buff something, I don't like it as much there. So I think instead we go this route. And then I think you go Rift Thane and Haunting Spirit. Rift Thane trades with the Nixox, which is entirely fine, as does the Spirit, and then the Spirit could potentially buff something. So those I think we're fine with. Kinsman also would have traded with the Ox, but I think I'd rather have this buff something in play as opposed to this buffing a Haunting Spirit later. We're doing our best to try to generate quality board presence and value. Hopefully those Withered Hands are doing work. I mean, we've already made Risen Horrors from the Rising of Bones cost a lot. Scout's Report was pretty expensive for them. We're doing the best we can. I have to assume they've got more Cruel Fire Blooms in their deck. I have to assume they've got Lightning Bolts in their deck. We know they also run at least one Experiments, so maybe more. So we're doing what we can here. They're thinking. Alright, so they do take that trade. It's kind of what we expected. Trading a Nixox for a Rift Thane is probably
The hist
beneficial to us, right? Like, that feels like a win, so... and got rid of our negation. So actually I think protecting this because of the card draw is more important since that was negated.
Let them die with their false king.
At the ready.
Our glory will.
We're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna keep this in hand because if this has the rally go off or the last gasp go off, that could be much better for us.
Your Thorm is no match for mine.
Wow. That's a kind of a sad Odaving when you think about it. So we're gonna play the Spirit because we want the rally to trigger on this, like no matter what.
Die for what's right.
Go no further.
And then we're gonna go ahead
I
and
know
play
a
it.
shortcut.
And Crusader's Assault. Actually, the Assault wasn't necessary. I keep forgetting about the Fervor there. So, looks like I BM'd. Sorry. It was really just a mental lapse as I record really late in the evening. So, there you have it. Redoran mid. Performs as expected. Didn't really play any differently than I would have expected. Tribunal control, still good. When you get your card draw stuff, when you get your sowers, Redoran mid, very strong. Again, kind of played out exactly the way I would have expected. So anyway, thanks for watching. I had fun. Hopefully you did too. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.